Hey guys, it's RodimusPrimal. I am back with another video, and I know it's been quite a bit since I produced a video, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But today, we're going to take a look at all of the Transformers news since I have been gone. And now that I'm back, we're going to take a look at everything from the Masters of the Universe Transformers crossover to the possibility of Michael Bay returning to the helm of the live-action Transformers films, to Missing Link doing some amazing things with Ultra Magnus and Nemesis Prime, to where the storyline for Skybound is going to go, and on top of that, the cartoons for Transformers. So, without further ado, let's sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon, becoming a channel member, or purchase some merch. Links in the description below. Alright, so before I address the news, let's actually talk about this. For starters, I know it's been about a month since I produced a Transformers video, and I saw, a comment recently, asking, hey, is everything doing okay? Yes, I'm okay. My family is good, and, we're doing very well. There's been a good reason why I haven't been able to produce a video, but I'm back. So I'll be producing news videos at least. I'm going to be trying to do a news video weekly, and on top of that, I'm going to be working on new and updated retrospectives, which I'll get into as we start talking about some of the Transformers stuff with this, and I'm going to try and do some more reviews, what have you. It's just, there's been a lot of things happening in the background the last, I want to say 2 or 3 months, that have slowed down my progress in making any videos in general, which kind of sucks because it's like, that hurts the algorithm, number one. Obviously you guys are wondering where I'm at. And when a channel is the size of mine, it's like, you're not producing videos, YouTube's just not promoting you. So this is what I hope you go, if you guys, before I start talking about this stuff today, if you got, when this video is all said and done, go back to my retrospectives, look at the ones that you may have either haven't seen in a while or not watched at all, and go take a look at them. Check them out. Maybe you might learn some things about a Transformers character that you just didn't know about, even if it wasn't a character that you were familiar with. And there's a couple characters that I am producing, some scripts for, that I want to make some new retrospectives for, in addition to some updates that, with some of the news today, definitely need an updated video. Either an update or a part 2. You tell me in the comments what you guys think that I should do with some of these characters. Let's get into it. So for starters, Masters of the Universe. I never expected Masters of the Universe to cross over with Transformers. To be quite honest with you, it's not my cup of tea as far as like way they're going about doing it, but I understand what they're doing. Basically, they're using the magic of Eternia to produce armor based on the Transformers themselves, or they're using the Transformers as armor to battle each other. Man-at-Arms, I would have expected Brawn, but I get that Bumblebee works for him as a character. Skeletor being Megatron, I'm sure when they produce a He-Man figure, it will be with Optimus Prime. Now, they did the same thing, kind of, like, they did like a Masters of the Universe crossover with Thundercats, and what I like about those figures is you could take the, Eternia armor off those Thundercats figures, and you get a full working, Thundercats figure that works with your, He-Man figures in general. But with these, it's like armor that goes over it. And you can kind of see, like, it has, like, different heads, so you can have, like, the Megatron armor or, like, a faceplate for Man-at-Arms, for Duncan. And it looks kind of neat. There's even a comic book that when I took a look at this, like, here's what I was talking about, how, like, Mumra has, Skeletor armor, and Lion-O has, like, armor that you can take off and actually make him like a regular Lion-O figure. And they even did a Ninja Turtles crossover with He-Man. So it's kind of weird, but there is a comic book that comes with the figures. It explains how the Transformers and He-Man are doing this crossover. Basically, Mattel and Hasbro are doing this crossover this way to try to promote He-Man again, to try and make He-Man, exciting for collectors in general. Like here, having Scareglow merge with Starscream, that's going to be really cool when the figure comes out. Probably you're going to get a Skeletor or a Starscream armor, Scareglow that you can take the armor off and have it be that way. Whereas this figure, it's not really taking the armor off. It just stays that way. And that's fine. It's kind of neat. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something that I would collect. I would personally, if I was to collect this, I would, probably just go for the Skeletor with Megatron armor, because Bumblebee as Man-at-Arms doesn't work for me. But that being said, it's still a cool concept. Having this crossover this way, maybe we might see something animated, but the comic book works just as well. I also need to do an update about something I talked about in my last news video. The rumor was that Lio Convoy, the 40th anniversary figure for Lio Prime with a new head for the lion and a deco that more matches the cartoon with this gold and everything, was getting canceled because there was a miscommunication with one of the vendors. And because of that, and yeah, this is actually a customized lion that somebody actually, took their figure with, but there was a miscommunication. So when I reported on it, I didn't get a chance to do an update to tell you guys, no, the figure hasn't been canceled. It's just got delayed in its production. And so it is coming, but it's coming later than what some people probably wanted. And that's fine, because this deco is awesome. The head sculpt is much better than the lion head that they chose on the original mold. And it looks a lot better. It looks a lot cleaner. And I kind of want it because it's a better looking Lio Prime, Lio Convoy, whatever you want to call him. But man, it's just like, it looks so great. So if you did miss out on pre-ordering him, I think you could still pre-order this figure, so just, find out whatever vendors are available. Of course, I always put links in the description for whenever there's like a pre-order for a figure with any of my affiliate links, or if it's something that I don't have an affiliate link for, I usually try to put that link in the description too. Let's also talk about the dramatic capture. Now, we already know that Thundercracker is going to be with Reflector, but they decided to do Skywarp with the Insecticons in a cartoon-accurate deco so that all three Insecticons have a better color scheme, and they look fantastic. I'll tell you that much right now. They look awesome. I actually want these Insecticons. I don't necessarily want Skywarp because the new Studio Series 86 Thundercracker is going to be the new Seeker mold, and I already have Thundercracker and Skywarp in, the Earthrise, figures. So it's like, if I'm going to update, and I want the new Seeker mold, right? But if I want this color scheme, especially for Bombshell being that cartoon accurate gray versus the purple, it's a matter of, and also with the arms, with all three of the Insecticons being more, accurate color-wise and what have you, it's like, which one do you go for, right? So I would like this pack just for the Insecticons, but not necessarily Skywarp. And also Skywarp doesn't have the yelling face. So if you have Skywarp already, but then again, also Studio Series 86 Skywarp is going to be coming out with a new mold. So if you want that new mold, it's like pick and choose. Do you want the Earthrise mold or not? So, but either way, it looks awesome. And having more of the Decepticons, getting released this way is pretty neat. I wonder if Studio Series 86 is going to release the Insecticons this way as well. Takara is also doing more with Missing Link. I was really shocked and surprised to see this one coming because I didn't know how they were going to handle the armor over an Optimus Prime cab, giving us Ultra Magnus. This thing looks awesome. a fully posable Ultra Magnus figure is something that like people only dreamed about back in 1986, let alone with new molds and new Ultra Magnus figures that have come out over the years. But this particular Ultra Magnus figure looks great. And a lot of it was shown at the Tokyo Toy Show. Now, in addition to Ultra Magnus, we're getting a Nemesis Prime. So we have a Transformers 5 Nemesis Prime. We have a Armada Nemesis Prime getting released with the 3 Minicons, which I think Hasbro is releasing as an exclusive, and Takara is also releasing in their markets as well. And on top of that, we're getting a G1 Missing Link Nemesis Prime. I want this G1 one. I'm not going to lie. And I want to complete the Constructicons and Superion. And then, of course, you've got the MPG, Optimus, which is kind of like a cross between all the different Optimuses put together into a Masterpiece Scale Prime. But this Nemesis Prime looks awesome. Getting a closer look at him, obviously he has the, his roller drone is colored in that teal color, which looks great. And, of course, he has the pink axe. The trailer does have a Decepticon symbol on it. And that Ultra Magnus figure, you can already see it from here, has this little car, which if you aren't aware, this car actually came with I believe it came with not Battle Convoy, I think it was Powered Convoy. So having a Diaclone driver that's like Spike, being able to sit in it is kind of neat to have, and I think it transforms just looking at the the prototype itself. But if we're getting a closer look at this Ultra Magnus, you can see that it is a white Optimus cab, just like the original toy was. It will attach to the back, and somehow this thing is going to be posable. This is the painted gray resin, model that they have, the prototype. So we're seeing the first prototype for it, and it looks great. I remember getting Ultra Magnus, I believe it was in the summer of 1986. I'm trying to remember, because I know I got Skylinks for Christmas that year. Yeah, I know I got Skylinks and Metroplex. But, but this particular figure is definitely a highlight because it's a car carrier. It powers up with that, the Optimus style cab. It's just the original toy was just a brick though, right? So it wasn't posable. So I want to see how the legs are posing. Does it attach to the Optimus legs a certain way? How does it transform slightly different, even though it's going to have the simplicity that the original G1 figures had? And how do the fists? Are the fists detachable? It looks like the fists are also posable as well. So I'm really curious how this whole thing works. And getting a look at the way that the legs, are posing, it looks like it has joints built into it so that it works, very differently than the original toy did. Maybe it'll have waist articulation and everything. Man, this thing is going to be so cool. I cannot wait to see the completed prototype of it, and this is where we can get a better judgment on the figure, but it just looks awesome. Now, something else that really, really shocked me was how cool these Wild King figures are. Now, there are 2 Transformers cartoons airing right now. Japan is having their Wild King line, which they have a toy line for and everything. And then Hasbro Markets has a kids cartoon called Transformers Cyberworld. And Cyberworld as a cartoon is pretty decent for a cartoon, but the toy line is really simplistic. Whereas Takara is putting out Wild King, and the cartoon is right? But the toys just look awesome. And it's like, can't we get a little bit of the best of both worlds here? But look, I don't know what figure this is supposed to be. His name's supposed to be Dragnus. The robot mode looks so cool. It's like, it's a dragon mode with a robot. I don't know if it's like merged with Megatron or what have you. It just looks so cool. And I guess it has the same playability as all of the other Wild King figures has, like combining with like the different parts to try and like have this merging. Maybe Dragnus is like the main bad guy, or he's merged with Megatron. That's what it kind of looks like. It kind of looks like he's merged with Megatron in this way. So it's like they're doing their own take on Dragon Mode Megatron. That's really, really cool. I'm not going to lie. It's just so cool looking. Like the color scheme, it's imaginative. You know, it's everything that you'd want. Yeah, actually, I think it is merged with Megatron because that's Megatron's arm cannon. Yeah, that's neat. That's really, really cool. And as I said, you know, Transformers Cyberworld is right now 7 episodes into the show. It's actually quite enjoyable, even though the robots themselves, it's like the Transformers are just dropped into a video game world. So like they get these power-ups and they have like these like battles with each other where it's like basically like a video game. And I guess that really works for like today's kids, you know, to be able to get into a Transformers cartoon. I do wish we went back to the simplicity of things, but at the same time, this does work for, you know, as a show to be something a little bit different, even though the toys are not great. In fact, Skybound actually made a debut in the show, and because of it, I actually delayed finishing my script for Skybound, and I think I'm going to wait a little bit to actually get a full retrospective on him until a few more episodes of Cyberworld come out, and I can actually make a better informed, you know, retrospective that way, so it doesn't like, you know, get dated by the fact that when the show ends or if the character doesn't come back in any way, considering that he's been now in more fiction. So we'll see where that goes. And I do have some more characters that I'm going to work on. Speaking of which, Nemesis Prime and Ultra Magnus. So I'm thinking of either doing a part 2 to Ultra Magnus or an update to him, since now we have the missing link. But Nemesis Prime definitely needs an updated video. Like, it's kind of like a video where I want to take that video and like remaster it with all of the, you know, the new Nemesis Prime figures and fiction that has come out for that character into a video, in addition to some new characters. So again, I want to know what you guys are thinking about that. If you haven't been reading Skybound, it's awesome. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm about 22 issues in. I think issue 24 is coming out, I think this month or next month. I'm not sure. But it's supposed to be the end of the story arc where Daniel Warren Johnson is finishing up everything that his storyline that he's been telling. And they're doing a new story moving forward with Robert Kirkman, and Dan Mora is doing the art for the new, for the Skybound comics moving forward for Transformers. And this is what Optimus Prime is going to look like using Dan Mora's art. And it's awesome. I like the grittiness that Daniel Warren Johnson gave, but going into this like more smoother, cleaner art does work really well too. I've loved the storyline. It's been a really good storyline. Not everybody loves it, and that's fine. I love the character designs. I love the storytelling. I love how it handles a lot of the characters. Not all of them. I don't like a lot of the character deaths. Like, that's my own personal thing. I think that they can actually bring some Transformers characters back that they've killed off. You know, it's a possibility, but seeing how they're incorporating G.I. Joe and incorporating like Void Rivals is a cool way to have Hot Rod, Cup, and I mean, not Hot Rod and Cup, Hot Rod and Springer. And now I think they're going to be introducing Wheelie into the universe that way. The Quintessons have showed up, a Skuxoid has showed up, all in that Void Rivals comic book. And now, so it's like a big giant universe with Transformers and G.I. Joe and all of that mixed, you know, thrown into the mix. And I think they've done great. And I really want to see if they bring in Ironhide. I know they're going to bring in Bulkhead. I want to see some of the other characters that we know and we love brought back too. So we'll see where they go. I love the art. It's a great book. If you haven't read the Skybound comics, start at issue 1. Just, you know, start it with Void Rivals and then go read Transformers issue 1. It's a great read. Now I got to talk about the big elephant in the room. All right. You guys already know I am not a big fan of the Michael Bay Transformers films. I'm not. All right. So I know that for a lot of people, that was their introduction to the franchise. It's kind of interesting too, because I got a new friend that he only saw the live action Transformers films. And, you know, he like to him, like he was like, okay, well that, like, I didn't like how like the humans were the protagonists in those movies, and how they made the main bad guy just basically like a wimp or whatever. And was his words in seeing those films. And then I showed him the first 4 episodes of Generation 1. Like, he's like, why didn't the films do this? So, you know, you're seeing like firsthand like what it is. But for some people, they love the films, and that's fine. You're able to love the films and what have you. It's going to be 20 years in 2027. Next year is going to be the 40th anniversary for the 1986 film, and 2007's 20th anniversary is going to be 2027. So it's kind of interesting to see like how much has changed with Transformers since then. But I know that they're talking about bringing Michael Bay to direct a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. And I don't know if that'll be as successful as that's where they want to go. Paramount wants to make more Transformers films, probably because they got to keep up that license, but also because, well, we need more popcorn entertainment. Personally speaking, I wish that they would make the Transformers movie that I wanted to see back in 2007. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to have a meltdown over it. I don't really like get angry about this stuff anymore. It's like, what's the point, right? You know, we're at a point where we just need good, you know, Transformers films. We need good Transformers fiction. We have a great comic book right now. We have cartoons that work for younger audiences. And now the films are supposed to be for the popcorn audiences. Not everybody is going to be as excited for it. You know, I know a lot of people probably should have went and saw Transformers 1, but it was such a box office disaster that Hasbro says that they don't want to fund the next Transformers movie. Paramount does, though. So what are they going to do? Are they going to make the robots the stars this time? Or are they going to make more humans again this time? Are they going to bring Josh Duhamel back and make him the star of the movie? And you're going to see nothing but Josh Duhamel for the entire film. I don't hate the actor, don't get me wrong. But are they just going to bring him back and all of a sudden the Transformers are just in the background somewhere while he's the action star? Like, that's pretty much what they end up doing with these Transformers films. Whatever actor they bring in, that human is the star, and then the robots are having their stuff happening in the background. And that has always been an issue for me with Transformers films. And, you know, because the Transformers themselves should be the stars. They should be the stars of the show. They should have personalities. Decepticons should have personalities. It's why I like the Bumblebee movie. Because you had 2 Decepticons who had personality. Right? Granted, Bumblebee couldn't talk. I don't like Bumblebee not talking, but that's a whole thing. But it is what it is. Hopefully, whatever they do next, whether it's a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, whether it's a reboot, whether it's a sequel to Rise of the Beast, whatever they do, let's just hope the next Transformers movie is actually good. That's all we can hope for. You know, I am not going to get angry or upset if Michael Bay comes back to the director's chair, nor am I going to be, you know, celebrating if he doesn't. You know, or if he just kind of has like a hand in or whatever. It's like, whatever happens, we'll see where they go. You know, there's a lot of speculation and news rumors right now. And then the reason why is because, well, the entertainment industry needs some revitalization in general. Not just for Transformers, but Hollywood in general is hurting. So, you know, how many people still go to the movies nowadays? Not as many as it used to. You know, a big movie like Superman comes out, and they just wait for it to come out on streaming. That's pretty much what most people have been doing nowadays lately, is they just wait for a movie to come out on streaming, come out on Netflix, come out on demand, whatever it might be, and they wait to watch it. They don't go to the movie theater to go watch a movie. So it's like they're going to spend all this money for the special effects. You know, that's probably why the humans are going to be the stars of Transformers movies, and it always have been that way. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the whole thing in general. I'm not either angry nor upset, nor am I having a meltdown. It's just, it is what it is. So let's just hope for the best for the future, because the franchise definitely, as a whole, Transformers as a whole, needs something to really make people excited about the franchise once again. And that's just in general, because the toy line has been great. I gotta say, the action figures have been coming out lately have been awesome. I've got the new Skybound figure. I've got, you know, some of the aerial bots. I want to complete my Superion. I want to complete the Constructicons. They've been great. A lot of people like the Primes. Some people are, you know, liking the Wild King stuff. So a lot of cool action figures are coming out. Just needs the fiction to accompany it as a whole. But I wonder what you guys think about all of this Transformers news. Of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well. Again, watch my old retrospectives. Leave some comments on them. Even the ones that I may even remaster. If you say, hey, this one I think should, you know, should be, you know, done is for a part 2 or for a, you know, new thing. Or if it's a character you haven't seen, leave a comment on them. Leave a comment in this video too. Of course, you can stay tuned for a lot more coming down the pipeline. So, as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.